I'm getting serious Kill a Kill vibes. Military Marine is something I didn't know I needed. I could tell like the stuff they're going for. Like Callie is gonna be like the clumsy, cute one. Marie is gonna be the strict, cute one. Welcome to episode 8 of Gamemode C, the show where we rarely talk about Minecraft and almost always talk about Pokemon. I think that's going to be our new intro.
Pokemon C.
I am Freddy, also known as Crafty Type 1.
I am Jacob, also known as TatorTot.
And we have a lot to talk about today. I always say that at the beginning of these shows, but Nintendo Direct came out about a week ago now, I feel like. And then some new Pokemon information came out like 2 days ago. Plus OLED comes out in a couple days, so we got a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, it's fall.
Indeed.
That's all.
It is no longer summer, unfortunately. And normally I would be ecstatic because we come from a place with 120 plus degree summers, but now it is quite chilly.
It is really chilly.
One day, just out of nowhere, it's 40 degrees.
Well, funny enough, the first day of fall that we experienced out here was the first day we dipped below 40. So, and now we're getting closer and closer to freezing temp, which I believe is 32 degrees.
Yeah. I had frost on my windshield today. I had to thaw it out. I thought I was going to be late to class. I'm not going to lie. Because it was like 5 minutes later than I normally leave, and I'm just sitting in my car waiting for it to thaw out.
So it feels like that one balloon game, you know, where you're like pumping up the balloon, and then like when it pops, you lose, and like everyone does like a certain number of pumps. But that's with like musical cars, because we only have 2 parking spaces, but we have 3 people living at this house. So we have to like do musical cars. So, you know, one person leaves, another person goes in. So one of us is going to be stuck out there with the snow one of these days, and it's getting closer and closer to that deadline. And I think, you know, I'm the next one out.
After I come outside, it's like cold enough to have frost all over the car.
I'm a little worried because I'm the next one out, but we still have 2 weeks till we do a switch. Do I think I could last another 4 weeks?
Week and a half.
Oh yeah, week and a half. But before I'm out there for 2 weeks. So hopefully I can dodge the snow. I need to get new clothes and stuff too, because all I have is short sleeve shirts. The only thing I have is like this jacket.
I have 3 long. I've just been doing jackets over short sleeves because I don't have any a fair amount of long sleeve clothes at all. Yeah. I do need some more of those.
But I mean, it's exciting. We're going into October. I actually saw pumpkins at the store. I don't think
there's tons of Halloween decorations at Walmart.
Yeah, I heard they do Halloween big where we live. So yeah, we'll probably do an episode just on Halloween in general. I don't know about that.
I was gonna say we could film it, but I'm not trying to dox our house address. So.
Yeah. All right, but I feel like let's get into the Nintendo news. Did you watch through the whole Direct? Yes, I assume so.
Yes, but I skipped ahead at some parts.
Oh, so you didn't watch it live?
I was like 5 minutes after, so I had enough okay,
so you had enough
to skip ahead.
Actually, that's like the good kind of right balance, because you're able to like control what pace you're watching it, but you're also still watching it right as it comes out.
It's like back in the old days when we used to have like cable TV, and you know you would like let the program run, so you could just fast forward later when you eventually do watch it.
Yeah. But so we started off with the DLC for Monster Hunter Rise. Before we get started, I did watch this live. I watched this with you guys, people listening to this. Should we say our score at the beginning or the end? What do you think?
Probably the end.
Okay. But so we have just bullet points. We're gonna go through them to say our thoughts. We got DLC for Monster Hunter Rise. We both don't play Monster Hunter. I really wanted to get into it. It just was at a really bad time. I think I've explained this before. Right when I was moving, so I didn't even have time to make content, and I didn't really have the money to buy it. So I mean, yeah, now it's a different story, but it's like it's gotten past its quote unquote initial hype, and I just don't really want to get into it anymore. Yeah. Any thoughts on it?
Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't played it at all, so
it's
I'm
like
not too acquainted with it.
Castlevania update, and I guess there's a Sonic crossover in there somewhere, and
Sonic?
it got announced today. I just don't know what it is. Apparently, it was just like something with Sega and Capcom, which they do a lot of stuff together, anyways. So it makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then we got DLC for Mario Golf Super Rush, another game we both don't play.
The only golf I'll play is the Wii Sports Golf with the special attachment you shove your Wii remote into. I think we talked about this one of the previous episodes. The superiority of the Wii remote and its attachments.
But I mean, so I wanted to get Super Rush, same thing, because they both came out, I think, the same month. There's 2 new playable characters, that being the Koopa Troopa and Ninja, and then it released the same day as the Direct. It honestly kind of feels like it's already dead. I mean, Mario Tennis Aces, the same kind of game, but with tennis. Got a new character every month for like 8 months. Jeez. And it's been like nothing. They didn't even... I thought this DLC would be bigger with a stage or anything. But no, it's just the 2 characters.
I'm a Koopa fan. That's who I made in Mario Kart. So, I guess it's nice to see him getting some love, but it's in a game that I will not play, so kind of irrelevant.
Ninja too. I was kind of not really that surprised with Mario Maker. Ninja was in there. Ninja's like that little ninja bad guy. But yeah. Overall, super cool. Happy for the people that play it, but I do think this is honestly one of the last major DLCs. I wouldn't be surprised like the next one they're like, okay, this is the last one. But yeah.
Yep.
Then we got Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC. I'm just go ahead and get all the DLC out of the way. That comes out October 29th. Also has a new playable Pura and Robbie. I was about to say Pyra. Additional stages include additional stages and a new emotional story sequences.
Yes, I have not played Hyrule Warriors, but I will... and we'll talk about this at the end, like our overall score for the Direct. But I do think that this was one of the better showings.
It was like a minute long. And then, so I hate what they do about this. They're like, oh yes, let's just show one of our bigger games. They show like this really cool and like really got me hyped for the DLC. But then at the end, there's like, let me just show everything in one text slide for like 5 seconds because so I had to like, you either pause it and then you're not live anymore, or it's not like as live as it's usually, or you just kind of wait until at the end of the Direct and then you find out information. But I mean, I loved Age of Calamity. It stems off of the Breath of the Wild story. It's new emotional story sequences. Last time they didn't say emotional, and last time it was more action-packed, but this one seems like it's actually more story with more cutscenes.
See, I've always preferred that, and just games in general. I mean, the action is really nice, but if I want action, I can play, like an FPS or another kind of, fast-paced game. Most of the time, I would prefer to have story. Like the game should make me feel something besides like either pride or self-loathing if I'm doing good or bad respectively. Like Call of Duty, it's like, man, I'm unstoppable, or I absolutely despise this game, I'm never playing it again. And like those are the 2 emotions. There's never anything in between. Whereas with like story-driven games, it's a broad spectrum of things that can make you feel, and that's what I would prefer in a game.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt. That's how I also feel the same way with story games. That's how I felt with Final Fantasy Remake. I looked forward to playing like any story-driven game. I always like it lives in my head until I just hop back into it, and then once you finish the game, you kind of feel like you're missing something. Like, oh, now how am I going to fill this time? Even though you've only been playing the game for like 2 weeks, but it's felt like it's been your whole life. That's how I felt with Final Fantasy VII, and that's how I felt with Breath of the Wild and with Hyrule Warriors. Unfortunately, I haven't played the first wave of DLC, but I think once we get closer to Breath of the Wild 2's release, I might go through Breath of the Wild 1
Zelda marathon.
Do a Zelda marathon. Yeah. Either way, I think you should definitely play Breath of the Wild. Maybe
I kind of want to. Like it's the only Zelda game that I've like extensively played at all, and even then it was such a minuscule amount of gameplay for me, and so half tempted.
Yeah,
half tempted.
Well, because then the more I think, the only time I played Breath of the Wild was 4 years ago. So I mean, I think I could hop back into it and have a fresh take. And also, I've heard playing in pro mode, which is like you don't have any HUD; it's just Link and the world, is like 10 times better. So I thought about doing that as well.
Interesting. I don't know. See, I'm a casual. I don't really like the super like difficult modes. It's just
it's not difficult. It's like once you learn the controls, you don't need like the icons telling you where everything is.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm saying more like broadly, because I know a lot of games have like the realism mode where you don't have a HUD, you don't have, it's just like you playing. I don't know if I'm skilled enough for that. I play games to enjoy myself, not to, spam just to try and get something, accomplished.
There is a Master Quest mode, which is like the game but harder. And I kind of want to do it on that one because the how you unlock it is you beat the game originally and then you get unlock Master Quest. But I've tried that once before on stream and that was difficult. You don't regen or anything, so it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, even for me, like when I played Gen 5 back, when I replayed it, and for the second time ever, like a couple months ago, I want to say.
Yeah,
it was like. A lot of the parts were pretty easy, and then I got to Getsus and N, which are like the final bosses. And it was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even enjoy their battle themes because it was just doo 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 the whole.
They don't have battle. A remixed like low health.
Well, they have the song, but it doesn't get overlaid with the theme. So like you have your theme, and then as soon as you hit low health, it cancels that theme and just plays the doo 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 doo.
That sucks.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, the low HP theme is pretty nice, but not when you're sitting there for 30 minutes just spamming revives and potions on the two people you have left.
We're going on a little rant here, but I think it's fine. I'm revisiting games that I played, 4 or 5 years ago, and then they're a lot easier, to be honest. Like Deltarune Chapter 1 I played 2 years ago, and I remember having... I had trouble on some of the puzzles, enough so I remember vividly looking them up and stuff. And, 2 years later, I played Chapter 1, and, I kind of knew. I didn't have to look up anything. But also, I didn't remember the puzzles at all either. So, I don't know. I feel like I had a fresh slate. And then I was playing Zack and Wiki. That's another puzzle game. That was on the Wii with my Dolphin emulator and everything. I played that back when I was like 8. And I couldn't finish it. Now I finished it, and it was rewarding. It's like, I actually grew as a gamer. But yeah.
Character development.
Yep. All right. So the next little topic we have, probably one of the biggest announcements at the during the Direct. And so I'm going to say a little bit of backstory. So before we knew that they're going to add 2 new consoles to Nintendo Switch Online because of the placeholder text in the code, and we thought it was the N64 and GBA, or just Game Boy, but they announced it's actually N64 and Sega Genesis. I don't know who's getting more of the money here, Sega or Nintendo. I honestly don't know how or why that happened. Back in the 1990s, if you were telling these kids that, oh yeah, Sega and Nintendo would be on this
combined,
they wouldn't believe you. But
here we are.
Yeah, you get access to a growing library of classic Nintendo N64 and Sega Genesis games. New wireless controllers are coming out at $50 a piece. And yeah, this is... Sorry,
was that what the FCC thing was for, after all?
What? Oh, yes. These controllers was for the FCC. Yeah. And yeah, of course, the 24th, the FCC released the controllers and stuff. But it's also as a part of a premium Nintendo Switch Online. But they didn't announce a price. But they said they announce it next month which is October, or they said sometime in November. So, how much money would you pay more to get access to N64 and Sega Genesis? Okay, throw out Sega Genesis. No one's paying extra for Sega. How much money would you pay for more, just the N64 games?
Well, probably not. Just because I'm not. I mean, I didn't grow up with those classics, so I'm not really nostalgically tied to them. If there was like a Wii emulator, then I'd be willing to pay more. Because that's the console I grew up with. Those are the games I'm familiar with. But I mean, N64 was before my time, so I didn't grow up with the games. So they're not as impactful to me. So I don't really see myself upgrading my online plan to premium to get this.
So it's $20 a year, and for the base plan, and that's what I'm paying now. I don't see them adding more than $15, and I think 15 is much. I would pay an extra $10 for it a year, and of course, proportionally add that. How much do you think they're gonna price it at? Even though you're not gonna pick it up.
I don't know. I mean, it is Nintendo, so
I could see them realistically doubling it too. And if they double it, I don't think I'm gonna get it to be, because half of these games. I'm gonna say some of the key titles. The title launch lineup is Super Mario Bros. 64, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Dr. Mario 64, Yoshi's Story, and then they're adding more games in the future. That being Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X. I mean,
like I said, I'm not really attached to any of these, so I have no reason to buy it. But I think one thing that Nintendo has to consider is it's like a parabola. You know, the more you charge for something, the more money you generate. But at a certain point, you start to lose money because people are less inclined to buy it. And so I don't know. I think doubling it is going to hurt them because people wouldn't be willing to pay that much for the service. So I think kind of like what you said, 15 is probably the absolute max that they would be able to charge before they start like jeopardizing their money and not getting as many sales.
I'm saying I can realistically see him doubling it, but I hope they don't. I don't think I would pay more than $15 more max. But as I was saying, half of these games you'd have to buy the N64 controller to play.
You think so?
I think so. Ocarina of Time on a dual stick was I don't know. So I played Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, and I've also played it on the Wii emulator because my grandma, for some reason, because she was one of those grandparents that bought a Wii, that had the Wii Fit board, like, oh, this is gonna get me back in shape, or get me being able to exercise. And then she also bought a bunch of just N64 games. I don't know why. She just did, and her Wii.
Does she have an N64?
I don't think she did. I think it was her husband or my grandpa. I don't know why. She was just like, oh, my kids will love playing these games because, I remember these. So she bought, like, I specifically remember she had Ocarina of Time, the original one. What else? Super Mario Bros. Was it 3? The one with World. The one where you had the Tanuki tail that first got introduced. It had Pokemon Snap. It had all these games. And that is my quote-unquote nostalgia, is N64 on the Wii. It's not the exact N64 games, but yeah. I could definitely see why they're charging extra, though, because these are big games. These aren't like NES, SNES games. These are like
full-on more modern.
Yeah, story, yeah. Games I could see them realistically remaking and making more money if they did that.
If only they did this with all the other games that people are pirating.
I think you need an N64 controller to fully enjoy these games. I'm definitely going to try it out, and if I don't like it with Pro Controller, I think I might pick up the N64 controller, which is another $50 a lifetime. But I'm excited.
I don't got the money for this.
Yeah, I know. We got. So I'm excited to see Ocarina of Time, F-Zero X, Pokemon Snap. I want to see Pokemon Stadium. That was N64. Was that GameCube? I don't know. Yeah.
The earliest console Pokemon game I remember was the I want to say it was like 3D Coliseum or 3D Rumble. It was like 3D something. It was a Wii game.
But was that on the game? Oh, that was a Wii game. No, because I know Coliseum was a sequel to Stadium. Am I wrong? And Stadium was either on the GameCube or...
That was before my time.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm super excited for F-Zero X because, I mean, I've been wanting an F-Zero game for a while. But, I mean, I could totally see myself playing through Legend of Zelda, Mario 60. I don't know about Mario 64. Because half of these games already have a... What do you want to call it?
Better version.
Yeah, and N64 or Super Mario 64 has Mario Odyssey. The only one I could really think of playing in the lineup is Ocarina of Time. But then one of the upcoming games, I could play Pokemon Snap again. That game was so fun. Majora's Mask, F-Zero X. So, I don't know. Then again, I haven't touched NES and SNES since I bought online.
That's true. I played some with my parents, and that was the last time I used it, like 2 subscriptions ago.
Yeah. So I play a lot of SNES more than an NES one. The only reason I play the NES one is to try and beat the original Legend of Zelda. And I think I want to try and actually do that on stream because I know it's notoriously difficult. You know, it doesn't lend well to the player. But yeah, I mean, the SNES one I play more, and that's only F-Zero and Punch-Out are the only 2 games I play. So, I don't know. It's...
Yeah, I mean, that's my thing. I can't justify buying it. I'm not gonna... Again, I don't have nostalgic ties to these games, and they're not, like, piquing my interest either. Yeah. So, like, if I want to play, you know, a Mario or a Zelda game, there's newer ones that I would play instead.
Oh, yeah, because you haven't played Breath of the Wild, so why would you play Ocarina of Time if you haven't even tried Breath of the Wild yet? Or have you even played Mario Odyssey? No? So, yeah, same thing with, like, Mario 64 and then Odyssey. Like, I'd rather play the newer version than go back to an older one.
Yeah.
I think this definitely appeals to, you know, older people, but, you know, I think we're on that, like, middle ground where it could be us, but it also couldn't. But, yeah. Overall, I mean, it's interesting proposition.
It's a cool thing to have.
It's again, cool.
For me, it's indifferent.
A part of me wishes this was the new emulator, like virtual console. Because, you know, the Wii U had, like, all virtual console games. You could just buy them once. So if they made virtual console a subscription, and also, why separate them in 3 different applications? Just have the virtual console, and then in the virtual console application, have the 3 tags for the 3 games. So that's just another.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you need different emulators for each one, though?
Just put the 3 emulators in the application. It's not like the application's running off of the emulator.
I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't know how the storage works for that.
I mean,
maybe.
I don't like having the 3 different icons on the Switch, but that's just me. I would just love to see Virtual Console as a subscription service because that's what, you know, today's day and age is leaning towards. Xbox is trying to push toward it.
Yep, subscription services.
It's not. I'm not looking forward to it. All right.
Yeah. Y'all pirated too much. You pirated so much that these companies had to switch to subscription services to stop losing so much money. You're the reason. Remember when Photoshop was you just download the program and you're done. Now it's like I have to install Creative Cloud. I have to sign in every time, and I have to download Photoshop on top of Creative Cloud. All because people just couldn't stop pirating it. That's my rant.
You're funny.
I'm very upset. I hate Creative Cloud. I hate Office 365 that I have to have open to or actually, no, I don't think I need that. But that's not the point. The point is that they're subscription services, they're cloud-like things, and it's just stupid. It's so much more complicated.
So I hated Creative Cloud back when, you know, because I mean, I used to be the person that would pirate it. I switched over to GIMP because it was legitimately a free version of Photoshop. And I just didn't want to, like, every time I would... just the version I had was super buggy. I didn't want to try downloading the upgraded version because then you have to, it's just a long process. But once I had access to the Adobe Suite, I actually enjoyed it. Like, you make a file and it transfers to everything. If I do something on Illustrator or Premiere Pro, I could open it up in Photoshop in like less than a second. And that's it. It's just so much easier. Plus, my files transfer from computer to computer. So now that I have a suitable laptop and a suitable PC, if I edit videos on my laptop, just get transferred to my computer like instantly anytime I connect to the internet. Yeah, that's my.
I mean, I'm not designing stuff, so maybe for you it makes sense.
Yeah.
But for the normal people who just want Photoshop,
well, that's why you just buy the Photoshop subscription, which is only like $10
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. And it's free with our school anyway, so
well, I mean, I haven't paid for it yet.
You still have to download Creative Cloud to get Photoshop, though.
Yeah.
I just want Photoshop. Why do I need Creative Cloud running on my computer?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I hate having multiple things run on my computer.
But I hate using Paint.net, bro. That's the free alternative to MS Paint. It is so much better. It's what I use for all my memes. I'm pumping those out all the time, but it's no Photoshop, unfortunately.
Yeah. But that's my monthly simp for Adobe Creative Cloud. Anyways, so we have our next topic. That being the announcement of a 3D Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So the next Kirby adventure on the Nintendo Switch system is going to be 3D, coming spring of 2022.
Yes.
I just want to add really quick. This Direct was not centered around winter at all.
I know. Oh, announcing games for this coming winter. Coming 2022.
Coming 2022. Half of the games they announced are either coming 2022 or are coming in fall. Like, the only, like, I can't. So, the one game I could think of that is like strictly winter is Advanced Wars 1+2. Did we see any? No. I mean, do I care? No, not really. I think we have one more Direct in store for this year. Or they could just do a Twitter drop, which is also probably what's gonna be happening. But Kirby and the Forgotten Land, what do you think?
That was another pretty good part of the Direct. I feel like it was good enough to, unlike the elevated subscription service, where I'm like, yeah, I'm for sure not getting that. This is I'm a bit more unclear on. I can't say for sure. Yeah. I can't say for sure whether I get it or not. Like, I need more trailers and stuff to justify it. But I am on the fence with it. And a game getting on the fence for me is a win, because I'm very stingy, I'm very cheap, and I don't like buying stuff.
Yeah.
And so for me to even consider buying it is a pretty good step in the right direction.
I mean, I'm going to pick it up. I think that's a given. I was on the fence with Kirby Star Allies and I still bought it. This is like, I'm going to get this. So, I called it a pseudo Mario Odyssey. So it's more similar to 3D World, Super Mario 3D World, because it's 3D levels and not a 3D like entire world, I guess, from the press release that they said. I still think it's basically a pseudo Mario Odyssey though, because you can collect different enemies' abilities and use the abilities to fight other enemies. It's like, why didn't I think of this before?
Or maybe Mario Odyssey was just a parody of Kirby stealing abilities.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's Kirby's little mainstay. Speaking of Kirby's mainstay, or whatever you want to call it, he didn't flutter jump at all.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he did once, but it wasn't even like he didn't gain altitude. He was just like...
He was just maintaining altitude.
Yeah. And they didn't show like it had a max or anything. When you have a 3D space, it'd be definitely difficult to design levels around a flutter jump. But I mean,
you have to do height as well.
Well, yeah, you have to do height as well. But I saw like the levels that we did see, most of them were indoors. We had one in a cave. There was one in a tower, which probably
they dunked on Coconut Mall.
Oh, and then there was one in a mall. And I think you could feasibly do like, flutter jumps in a mall type situation. Same thing with the cave, because there is a ceiling. The tower, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm really excited for this game. Yeah, it looks cool. I thought it was Donkey Kong at first.
I mean, I was fine with either, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Overall, I'm definitely going to pick it up. Super excited. So next we then appealed. So they actually went on a little bit of a streak. They did Kirby and then they did Animal Crossing, which I think appealed more to the female audience, which I feel like that's okay. I feel like Animal Crossing is so big because it appeals more to the female audience, but it also still appeals to, the core gaming audience. And you mash them together, you just get this massive audience. So, I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons got a announcement for an update, and that update is going to include Brewster's Cafe from City Folk and past games. You probably don't know anything what I'm talking about.
No, basically, never played any Animal Crossing.
Brewster's been a mainstay or been like a really liked feature ever since City Folk, I believe. I think he's been in the original too. Don't quote me on that. I only remember because I only played City Folk in any game after that. But he was just MIA in this game, which was super weird. But there's a new free update coming to Animal Crossing New Horizon this November, and there's going to be a standalone Animal Crossing Direct in October.
Well, I mean, there's going to be one more Direct this year. I'm so smart with my predictions, as if they.
I'm talking about like a general Direct, not like
yes.
But Animal Crossing.
I'm surprised it's free.
Me too. I was thinking that Nintendo was going to do paid DLC, and the only way I could think of having like a multiplayer oriented game that doesn't like you get free items that you could just hand out to people that don't have the DLC is a location that you can add on your island. Of course, if you don't have the DLC, you don't get the location. But no, yeah, it's going to be free. A little surprised, and then it's going to have its own Direct. Animal Crossing fans have been starved of updates for, I think, 6 months, maybe even 8.
Stacks.
Yeah, I was honestly a little surprised because, it's the second best-selling game on the Switch, but I think Nintendo's mentality is if it's selling so well, why do we need to update it? Look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But I'm super excited. We're going to do a whole another Animal Crossing Direct predictions before that comes out, probably with my sister. But yeah, and then so this happened a little bit before. I kind of rearranged these topics, but then we got an announcement of the final DLC fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
No, we got the announcement that it will be announced.
Okay, yes, we got the announcement that it will be announced by Sakurai in. It's had to say, did they say the final Sakurai Presents? I feel like they did.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah. Sakurai on October 5th. And
5 days?
Yeah, it's in 5 days. I'm trying to think. Does the OLED come out in October 5th?
I don't know. You had a countdown for it.
I had a count. All right. Yeah, entertain the people really quick.
All right. So, I don't know what the final Smash fighter will be. My money's on Waluigi, but that it could be anyone. I will say it is quite sad to see Mr. Sakurai's magnum opus be laid to rest, but it was in the coming, and it was only a matter of time. But nonetheless, we are here, and all good things must come to an end. And something classic, cliche, morning. Breathing sentence. You done yet, Freddy? I'm having some trouble over here.
So it comes out October 8th, the OLED. So Metroid Dread and the OLED come out October 8th. So this is a little bit before that. So Sakurai Presents could be either super short or super long. Like what's his name? It's not Street Fighter, it's the other one. Buster Wolf guy. I forgot his name. I don't remember. That was like 50 minutes long for one character. So it could be something like that. or it could be a 15-minute long direct, and maybe they'll do a massive update, add the character, add some free content. That's it. Game's done.
Final send off.
Yeah, final send off
or encore.
Coincidentally, this direct lands on Nickelodeon's casual battle game called Nick All-Stars. Do you think that's a coincidence or on purpose?
I think that's just a coincidence, to be honest. I
don't
don't really foresee Nintendo partnering with Nickelodeon. It's just not really.
Oh no, I think they're doing it to shut it down, look.
They're not really in competition. Nickelodeon's more of a production company, not a game company.
But this is like Nickelodeon Battle All-Stars is a game that is like Smash. It's like almost exactly one for one. You have to build a percent and it launches them off.
It might be an offensive play then.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely not going to say anything. I think it is maybe a little bit. Of course, they want to do a massive final direct, but I do think it might be on that day for a reason, and that being the All-Star thing. Because I don't see them having it on October 8th. And because that's when the OLED comes out, and then every news is going to be split in half from the direct in this.
Yeah.
But yeah. When do you think the character is going to be released? Because do you think it's going to be shadow dropped, or do you think it's going to be announced as a release date?
I think this might be a stretch, but I'd be willing to say that they might do it like the day of or like the next day.
Okay. I think so. I'd like to say I think so too. I don't know. It's like, because it's so close to the OLED's release that it's more like I think it might take a lot of the news out of it, but it's like 3 days before, and there's enough buffer between there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a shadow drop. We've already explained before it could be, or I think it's Gino or Waluigi. But yeah, I think Sakurai's gonna make it's gonna be a tearjerker. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I cry during, I might not like full on cry. I might shed a tear, but of course, because I'm pretty sure Sakurai's gonna be like, "Oh, I thank everyone, for playing and enjoying this game." Yada yada yada.
Yeah. Very sad.
And then he's talking about retiring soon too. So it's like
he works for Nintendo. The poor man's probably been overworked the last 7 decades. He
retired when he made Kid Icarus, and then he came back on to make the Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U, and then he did this game, and then he's talking to Kotaku, and saying like, "Oh yeah, I might retire. I think this would be a really good game to end it off at," and I think everyone agrees.
Unfortunately.
I don't know. It's it's like I'm sad plus happy. So yeah. And then after that, we didn't really get nothing. We had to do something smaller. Nothing can really beat the announcement of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a direct. So then we got Mario Party Superstars, the return of several classical boards, that being Woody Woods, Yoshi's Tropical Island, and Horrorland. There's a minigame only mode, multiple multiplayer modes, and this game comes out on October 29th.
Yes.
I know you're a big Mario Party fan. You planning to pick it up? No?
I am.
Are you? No, never mind then.
No. I'm not I don't remember ever confessing to that. No. Again, a lot of these Nintendo games just aren't impactful for me, so I'm not as inclined to buy them.
So the last Mario Party game I bought was on the Wii U, and that game was kind of fun, but I think that was the downfall of Mario Party. Like, that was its peak, but it wasn't really a peak because it was also kind of a bad game still. So I think this is a Mario Party game that collects the best of every board and minigame. So I'm like, it has to be good, right? And considering there's online, a multiplayer only mode, a minigame only mode, I think it's going to turn out to be a really good Mario Party game. I don't think I'd buy this day one, though. I don't know. I think I'd wait like I normally never do this. Either I buy it day one or I don't buy it at all. But I think I'd wait
see how people review it.
3 to 4 days, see the general consensus. If it's a bad, because what was it, Mario Party or Super Mario Party? That game felt completely unfinished. It only had 3 boards, and that's it. Like all they had was the board mode, and you could play like the mini game singly, but you can't do like a mini game mode. That game felt super unfinished, and I just don't want to have that happen again.
Sorry if you guys hear construction in the background.
Yeah, I'm looking at the audio board.
I know, it's horrible.
Yeah, I might put music at the background of this one.
To drown out the
yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying. It's like, oh, you should add music, but I don't know. So
my voice isn't soothing enough to keep you entertained. Even though it's got that Discord compression going on.
Yeah, we're looking to fix that. I actually bought an extension cord to wire across the house, but it's not long enough. So I'm getting another one, a couple of those together. But yeah, enough about our personal life rants. I don't know what you want me to say. Probably my favorite part of the Direct, Splatoon 3. I expected this, but I also didn't expect this, what we got. So, in the game, there's a single-player campaign. It's going to be centered around mammals returning. Callie Marie is also returning. And this is still scheduled to release in 2022. What did you think as a non-hardcore Splatoon player?
I mean, it looked pretty good. This one is a bit more on the fence for me. I'm not like ruling it out of the question immediately.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait and see how it performs. And
it's a more story-driven Splatoon. Weren't you just talking about how you love story?
I love. It's not that story is inherently better. It's that story, when it's good, is better. Like,
oh, this story is gonna be good. They brought back Callie and Marie.
I mean, there's very few campaigns that have like moved me.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's less than 5. I can count them on one hand.
I don't think so. Splatoon isn't an emotional story. It's more of a hype story. Like, spoiler alert, if you haven't played Octo Expansion, and I don't think you are, so I'm just gonna say it. At the end of Octo Expansion, it's like you go the realization that you're in like a real world, like you're in our world, if that makes sense. Like humans used to roam the land, and now it's overrun by sea creatures. Like the realization at that final boss battle when you're basically fighting the Statue of Liberty, you're riding across it, inking it up. It's just like, it's not emotional, but it's like, whoa. And then at the end, when was it Pearl pulls out the OG, was it Sonic Blaster? I forgot what it's called. I feel so bad. But yeah, and then destroys this massive statue. It's just, it's like Pog moments.
Yeah, see, I feel like if the story is just hype, then it's basically like an action game.
It's a shooter, so
okay, it does kind of make sense. No, okay, because shooters can have emotional.
Oh yeah, you got Halo, story. And that had like, oh my god, yeah. But I think they're focusing on the story on this one, and if they didn't focus on the story last 2 games, and those were like that good, and they're actually focusing on the story this game, it's like, oh, so this is gonna be like 10 times better than what it usually is.
Actually using more than 2% of their potential.
Yeah. So they're bringing back Callie Marie, which makes me think we're not going to get new idols, which I'm honestly kind of fine with. Because, but if you didn't know, they add idols. We've only had a track record of 2 games, and each game they added a new idol. But I really don't think we're getting another 2. I'd love to see Callie Marie. I think this is more on nostalgia. I don't know. I think this is going to be the story is going to be a trilogy, and it's going to end, and then the next game is going to be a whole set of new characters.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. On a new console.
What if they bring back the idols from the
Splatoon
other
2.
game? Well, not Callie Marie.
Yeah, from Splatoon 2.
Not Callie Marie.
No, Callie Marie is Splatoon 1.
Are they?
Pearl Marina, Splatoon 2.
Okay, then yes. But like, put them together in the story.
Well, somehow. I think Pearl Marina is in Splatoon 3, because at the end of Splatoon 2, Pearl was like, "Oh, this is changing everything." You know, that classic line. So I'd be surprised. They're just bringing back so many older characters from Splatoon 1 that it's like fan service, because I think they're expecting everyone to pick up Splatoon 3 has played 1 and 2.
So they get all the references and stuff.
Yeah, but I think after Splatoon 3, they don't have
They can't just keep doing that again.
Yeah, they can't do that again. And maybe they could say like, "Oh, we introduced these characters in Splatoon 3, so of course, you know, people know them now for Splatoon 4." Where I think we're thinking way too far into it. But I'm getting serious Kill la Kill vibes. Military Marie is something I didn't know I needed. You got Marie in like military garb taking over Captain Cuttlefish's position, it looks like, because Captain Cuttlefish is in like vacation wear. You also got Agent 3, which is the character you play as in Splatoon 1 in there. And then you just got Callie being a klutz, and it's just cute.
I thought you were going to say like being a waifu, and I was going to be very, very upset with you.
I could tell like the stuff they're going for. Like Callie is going to be like the clumsy, cute one. Marie is going to be the strict, cute one. And then you got Captain Cuttlefish is going to be the guy who thinks he knows everything but actually doesn't anymore because you're old whippersnapper or whatever.
That sounds pretty familiar. I wonder if I know a guy like that.
And then you're going to have Agent 3 being the silent protagonist, or not the protagonist, just the silent character.
It's like, what do you think about this? It's just like the text box is ...
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen once in the game. And what the lines are going to be like, oh, yada, yada, yada. And then Agent 3, ... Then Marie, oh, don't worry about it. You'll get used to it.
That's like Dragon Ball Xenoverse. When the second one came out, you were able to like port over your old one, and that like your Xenoverse 1 character was a character in the story for Xenoverse 2. Because like in the first one, you save like the whatever the dimension they're in, and then so like there's a statue in like the new dimension in the second game of your old character.
Oh yeah,
and you get like some of the clothes and stuff that like that character had.
That's cool.
And like whenever he would talk, it would just be like ... And like, oh, he's just like a veteran agent. He doesn't speak much anymore.
So like in Splatoon 2, how they did it was you see like a blur run across the screen. Like, oh, did you see that? What was his hair color? Was like, was he a boy or a girl? Yada, yada, yada. And it's supposed to be like, oh, what did you play as back in Splatoon 1? And that'll be the agent that you fight later in Splatoon 2. But canonically, Agent 3 is a girl. So I think they're just going to get rid of that. And now in Agent 3, since Agent 3 is an actual character now, it's just going to be the girl from now on. And then we also didn't see any of Agent 8, which is the octopus, quote unquote, agent. And then we don't know if Agent 4, which is the agent you play as in Splatoon 2, is going to be in the game at all. I think so. If they're bringing back all the agents. We also don't know about like 5, 6, and 7. So it'd be kind of cool if those 3 are the bosses. Like, that'd be cool.
That'd be... So, I mean, what's the premise for Splatoon 3? Is it like people are getting corrupted? So that like the agents would be bosses, or...
I actually have no idea. Like, so we still don't know. The story shows the return of the mammalians, which are basically mammals. So is it like you versus humans? And so there's this thing that is turning people into corrupted versions, but they're not like corrupted. They're basically turned into a fuzzball, and they can't do anything. And coincidentally,
not evil. They're just like
useless. Yeah, but coincidentally, your little buddy, which is a salmonoid, which is it was in the salmon run, can eat the like fuzz, which I'm gonna basically call it mold. You can eat the mold off of you and then like return you back to normal. And
it's kind of like a Brawls story.
Oh, you know what? Kinda, but like, you recover? Oh, you can. Yeah, I'd
that's
say
the whole point of the game is you recover all the
people
who return into stone.
But I don't think that's your goal, though. Like we don't know anything. It's just like there's gonna be mammalians, and there's this thing that turns things into mold balls, and then you have a companion that can eat mold or the fuzz or whatever. I think it's hair because mammals have hair. Yada yada yada.
Yes.
But also, I don't think a lot of people notice the color scheme is yellow, and only yellow is what it looks like. The first one was pink and green. Oh wait, no, the first one was orange and blue. Second one was pink and green. Third one just looks like it's gonna be yellow. Yeah.
It's kind of odd for the multiplayer aspect of it.
I think. So it might be yellow and blue if they do dual colors, because in all the battles I've seen yellow versus blue, yellow versus pink, but everything has been yellow. The secondary color has changed a lot. But in past trailers it's always been pink and green, pink and green, pink and green. It's never been yellow or pink and blue, pink and whatever.
Yeah.
And then in the story, in the key art they showed for the story mode, Callie is now like black and yellow. She has her black, I don't know, what do you want to call it, a dress with yellow accents. And then Marie has like a more greener yellow, or a yellow or green. So it's like yellow and white. Anyways, that's enough about me and geeking over Splatoon. I could probably talk for hours and hours upon it. There's just a lot. I'm super excited. Multiplayer looks super fun. There's now mechs.
It's like Titanfall 2.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like Titanfall. And okay, so that's another thing. They added a new mechanic. I think they called it a super weapon, so it's not like a mainstay mechanic. But you can now grapple onto walls. Yeah. What? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm assuming it has to be painted for you to grapple on it.
Oh, and it doesn't look like it. It looks like you throw something, and then once you make a splat, it like splats the wall, and then you shoot up to it.
Oh.
But I think it's a super weapon, or whatever you want to call it, a special.
I would imagine to make it, I guess, more balanced. Yeah, ideally, you would have to have it like sprayed first for you to shoot your grapple hook there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if it's blank, I guess that works too. But I definitely can't see it like if it's painted with the other team, you being able to latch on, even if like.
Oh, so maybe you could like splat the wall and then you have to throw it again.
Yeah, something like that.
Huh, that's interesting. And then another little thing in the press release, they said that the grapple mechanic is a in between humanoid and squid. So it's like they've discovered a new version of like the squid, because all the press releases are seen as a squid research. So they're like, oh, we have discovered yada yada yada. But so I guess it's just more leaning toward the mammal side of it. It's just a halfway between the humanoid versions and the squid version. But yeah, a super hype for Splatoon 3. Has YouTube sent you notifications recently?
No.
Have you ever wanted to talk to Crafty Type 1 directly?
You can do that?
Have you ever wanted to talk to TatorTot directly?
No.
Then all you need to do is join Crafty Type 1's Discord. You can get notified on upcoming releases on videos, talk to Crafty Type 1 directly, and check out his crafted collection as well, and even participate in community watches.
Wow, I should definitely join. That sounds very interesting.
All you need to do is click the link in the description.
That's it? That's so easy. I have so much to gain and so little to lose.
So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out my Crafty Type 1 Discord in the description below. Anyways, back to the video. So after 4 years of patiently waiting, these Bayo fans finally got an announcement on Bayo 3 or Bayonetta 3. I don't know why I like saying Bayo. So in
I prefer Bayonnaise.
So, Bayonetta 3 is coming to Nintendo Switch in 2022. More information about the game will be released at a later date.
Yes, see, I've never played the game like most of these, but I do have very fond memories of a certain person that you know of playing Bayonetta and absolutely mopping the floor. And
so I think
the entire school, frankly, in Smash Bros.
The most we've gotten, or the most like connections I guess we've had with Bayonetta 3 is via Smash Bros. And I feel like that's a lot of people now. But yeah, it didn't come on both 1 and 2 came out on the Wii U.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Not certain.
But yeah, the trailer started off with like people with guns, kaijus, everything, and I'm like, what?
Is this a Nintendo Direct?
Oh yeah, I'm like,
you guys switched the source by accident.
Did they like? I was like, this is the last game they're showing off. Like, this has to be a Nintendo game. And then I saw the dog, and apparently that's the Astral Chain dog, which is like a similar game. And I guess
like Isabel.
Yeah, it looked like Isabel. I'm like, is that Isabel holding a gun? Wait, what? It's like finger guns. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna die. Yeah, and then Bayo drops in saying, you know, fashionably late as always. And I think that was like supposed to be like, you know, sorry for the long wait. Not really sorry, but you know, her being sassy as always. Then we actually got to see gameplay, and yeah, that's about it. A lot of Bayo fans are super happy. I'm happy for Bayonetta fans. I'm super excited that we're actually finally getting 4 years later. This was announced when the Switch first came out. So
it's been a while.
It has been a while. So a lot of people are thinking, do you think a newer Switch is going to come out? Because, you know, this game seems like it's
between now and its release.
Yeah. Because they have OLED. So a part of me thinks OLED might be a cash grab. I mean, the more I think about it, the more like, yeah, you know, the Switch is in desperate need of some GPU upgrades. Like Age of Calamity, once Age of Calamity came out, the frame rates are kind of bad on that game. And that's when everyone thought like, okay, we'll get another better one.
Yeah, I don't know. If my fear though is that if the OLED is going to draw attention away from newer like models of Switches, and so if they release the OLED this year and then release all these new titles next year, I think it's too early because everyone would have bought the OLED if they were looking to get a new Switch.
What about like a year from now? Because Breath of the Wild 2 comes out like November, December. What if they, you know, release it with a console?
I don't know. I think the OLED is too close for it to
be
an effective business decision. It's either a greedy cash grab that's stupid.
Yeah.
Or they have they plan on having it take longer before we get a new Switch.
So they said the Switch is only halfway through its life cycle, so it has 4 more years left. I think in the next 4 years we're definitely going to see another Switch, but I really hope, even if it's, I just want games to perform better, man.
Yes, that is very much true. Going from PC to like Switch is such a noticeable difference.
So Bloomberg actually reported that some companies have 4K Switches. Like dev kits, like they develop. Yeah. Then Nintendo today, this has all happened today, so this is like right as this podcast is being recorded. Dev kit, or then Nintendo says like, oh no, this is like not official. This is like third party dev kits, which doesn't make sense. Are you saying that people mod the Switch to like
how do you even mod the Switch?
Like, well, yeah, you can mod the Switch.
Change the you change the screen obviously, but you would also have to like change the GPU, wouldn't you, to output that much?
Well, yeah, I think that's what like a 4K dev kit. And this also could just, Nintendo has lied before. When the new 3DS came out, they're like, okay, yeah, we're not selling any more 3DSs, and then they're like, oh yeah, we also got the 2DS XL. We just announced that. And I think this is the exact same kind of chronological timeline. Bloomberg or some other credible source reports on a new 3DS dev kit, then Nintendo denies it, and then like 2 months later, Nintendo announces the new 3DS. The Switch is looking to be like a new 3DS. It seems like they're doing the same thing that they did with the 3DS. They have different models.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, you have the base 3DS, like the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL, the 2DS, and then the 2DS XL. That's 5 different 3DSs.
I mean, we're at what now? Switch Lite, Switch Pro, Switch OLED.
We don't have a Switch. Oh, I guess if you want to count, what are you counting the Pro as?
Didn't they announce a Switch Pro?
The OLED was the Switch Pro.
Oh.
What? Whoa! You're on a Nintendo news channel, and you're like, they announced the Switch Pro, right?
I'm not a reliable source. Take my word with a grain of salt.
No, so at most, I would say the refresh of the Switches with the better battery life would be considered a new one, but I wouldn't really consider that because they didn't rebrand it or anything. It's still a Switch. But if you want to count it, that's only 4. I can't hold up my fingers. So we still have one more, which I has to be a better Switch. And I think they might go with the new 3DS approach because the new 3DS, only some games can play on it. So I could definitely see the Switch getting to that point.
Like new 3DS exclusives, or
yeah, there was a new 3DS exclusive because the new 3DS had a better GPU. Yeah.
So they could handle all the new games. That would make sense.
And I didn't. There wasn't a lot of games, but there was a few, like Fire Emblem. I know Sun and Moon because when I played Sun and Moon, I played it on the base 3DS. That game ran horribly when I was in battles. So I think you could only play it on the new 3DS. But yeah.
Yeah. I did notice that, as the 3D Pokemon games came out, they became a lot more laggy.
Yeah, but I think that's just because we've been playing it on first-gen 3DSs.
Maybe. I mean, but I feel like this was never really a problem in pre-3D Pokemon games. Like, this isn't me, shilling for Gen 5, but I can't remember any particular...
It's pixel art. I don't think it's going to be any graphically taxing.
I don't know, man. Some of those cutscenes were pretty intense in Gen 5.
Oh, yes, the cutscenes. Let me just change the sprite. It's not like you're moving models with shading and everything.
Also keep in mind these were on a DS, so it's not like the 3DS.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Nintendo just also used to be a lot better at game companies in general used to be a lot better at optimizing.
I still think Nintendo is really good at optimizing.
Maybe. I mean, when your standard is 250 gigabytes for,
I think
AAA title, it's not like you're competing against, hard opponents.
Breath of the Wild was only 16 gigs, I think, and for that game, I feel like that was optimized really well.
I mean, I feel like because I think Red Dead's in the hundreds.
Oh yeah, Red Dead I think was like 120.
GTA 5's in the 90s, and that was like 2 updates ago. So
yeah,
I mean, but these are also PC titles, so you can load in, assets that are PC capable.
Oh yeah, and also
for Switch, you're not loading in, ray tracing anything. You're just loading in whatever graphics work.
Yeah. I mean, Sword and Shield was only 14 gigs. So
don't get me started on Sword and Shield, bro. The microwave walking animations where he's like walking and turning at the same time.
Oh, okay. We'll get into that in Brilliant Diamond. Oh, you just opened up a can of worms. Okay, we'll get more into this later. Let's just move on to the next topic because the animations, they improved. But Bayo 3 came out. Super excited, super hyped. Now for probably the most jaw-dropping moment in the Direct. The Mario movie cast got announced. This is something I didn't expect at all. I think we talked about it a little bit on our predictions that maybe we would see a Illumination trailer. But no, we didn't see any, but we did see the cast. But this leads to my whole, there's going to be one more Direct coming out sometime near November, December. I think we're going to see a trailer before we get into their thoughts on the cast. I think we're going to see a trailer before the end of this year.
Yeah. You think it's going to be in its own direct, or it's going to be grouped in with?
Oh, it's definitely going to be grouped in. I don't think they're going to do like a Mario movie direct. That'd be only like 5 minutes long. But I definitely think it'll be grouped in with another direct. But let's talk about that. Big one. Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yes. Very interesting pick, I think. He doesn't really scream Mario to me. So I'm interested to see how they're going to set him up for this role.
The more I sat on it, so like we're recording this around like 6 days after the direct came out. The more I kind of just sat and thought about it, the more it's gonna work out. They're just gonna fit around the characters. The characters are gonna mold around them, and because the more I realize it, Chris Pratt, he did Emmett, and then he did like half the characters in the Lego Movie Part 2.
But that wasn't live action, though, was it?
Well, this isn't live action either.
I thought it was live action.
No! Oh my god! the people who make like Despicable Me, the Illumination, that are animating this movie.
I could have swore
it is not live action. No.
Whatever.
What? These are all voice actors. They're not actors.
Okay, then I think it's more likely.
Yes. Wait, he's buff Mario? Like, whoa, what are you talking? Oh, but yes, these are voice actors. Let me explain. Illumination and Nintendo have teamed up. The CEO of Illumination is actually on Nintendo's board of directors. So I think like for film wise and other because the board of directors, they have different multimedias. They have the book department. You know, now they have a film department. They have the game department, and then they have just other stuff because Nintendo is a multimedia company. So I guess they have the CEO of Illumination, the people who make Despicable Me, Minions, stuff like that, on the board of directors. Another interesting thing. So I was worried about fart jokes and stuff because, if you think Minions, that's all I think of. But Shigeru Miyamoto himself is the producer, so I don't think he'd let that slide. So I was like, yeah.
I mean, unless they put Wario in there, then it's
if Wario's in there, I think it's fine. But if on this cast list, if Wario was in there, I'm pretty sure they'd announce it.
Yeah.
Anyways, then we got so Chris Pratt also posted onto Insta saying that he's been working on the voice and that his voice is going to be different than the voice, if that makes sense.
Which, I mean, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because apparently he's been working on it with his vocal artist teacher. Well, I mean, I think Chris Pratt can do a good job. He did Emmett. The more I think about it, he did basically the Lego Movie, and that just sounds perfect. I think... Now, here's a real question. Do you think Mario's going to be like have an Italian kind of accent? Like Mamma Mia?
I would hope so. Now, he did say he's working on his voice. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be just like a normal voice acting gig. So I'm assuming he's putting effort into like speaking in Italian or in an Italian accent. Because I feel like you don't really need a vocal coach if you're not doing something very distinct.
Yeah, in all of his voice acting roles, he's basically played himself with minor changes. Like in in the Lego Movie Part 2, he played as Emmett. Then he also played as the future version of Emmett, which was a darker, raspier voice of Emmett. But they sound visibly different. But like he definitely can. I think he can pull it off. So I think. Well, we'll talk about the whole Italian thing. We'll go straight to Charlie Day as Luigi. He's a Italian. He's a comedian. I don't know what shows he's known for, but he's also Italian. He just is Italian. So a part of me thinks they're gonna have at least like a subtle Italian accents.
Because I mean, if you have Luigi speaking in Italian accents, you can't really not have Mario do it. You'd almost need to like have them paired up.
Yeah. So yeah, if Charlie Day is Italian, I hope I want Mario to have an Italian accent because it's Mario. Like
yeah.
But a lot of people are saying like, oh, people are saying Chris Pratt can't do Mario. But if you think about it, I forget what's the original voice of Mario. Charles Martinet.
Nintendo one.
Charles Martinet. Charles Martinet. He isn't Italian at all. He's like, he's a basic white guy. And I mean, right now he's super. He isn't super old. I think he's like 50. But like, he still does the Mario voice, and you wouldn't think that he does the Mario voice.
Well, I don't know if you've seen Waluigi's voice actor, but whenever he does the wah, his face is like...
That's Charles Martinet! Charles Martinet does Wario and Waluigi.
Yeah, but his face is like super like distorted.
Yeah,
it's just like funny to see.
But like, if you have Charles Martinet do something like that, be an Italian plumber, I'm pretty sure Chris Pratt can pull it off. It's not like... Yeah. It's not like he's going to have a deep rasping voice. So then we got, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's like Anna or Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach from the Queen's Gambit, but she has no voice acting roles. Have you seen the Queen's Gambit?
No.
Oh.
I feel like you don't really need voice acting experience to...
Oh, no, you do.
Well, I mean, like if you have acting experience, what
if you have
difference is it?
Okay, yeah. There's differences, but I feel like if you have acting down, it shouldn't be that far apart from voice acting.
Yeah, like if you make the expressions in the studio, it's like you're hurting yourself.
I think out of everyone that needs a vocal coach the most, I think she does, because in Queen's Gambit, she was just like chilled, kind of dead person. I say dead, but she was like the epitome of that one emoji that's just two dots and a line. Like she was just like, well, because she was like she was a really good chess player. So she didn't need to have emotion. She was just like, put me in, I'm trying to remember the scene, but no, she was the best chess player in this show. So she didn't really need to, be a girl, if that makes sense. Yeah. But
you say girls can't play chess, Mr. Type 1?
No, I'm saying that she didn't need to like adjust to the social.
Okay.
Oh my god. But Peach, if you think Peach, you think high pitched. Like, I don't even want to try, but like, every time you hear Peach, it's like, I say it's fairly high pitched. No.
Yeah.
And I don't think because I think the only thing I've heard her in is Queen's Gambit, so I don't think I can picture
her.
Yeah. Picturing her deadpan kind of, because most of the jokes in that show was because she was so deadpan delivery.
Just like dry humor.
Yeah, dry humor. But I think it'll work. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna keep saying that, but she could pull it off, I hope. Yes. Then one of the bigger ones, Jack Black as Bowser. Out of everyone I think fits his role perfectly, I think it's this one. I could totally see Jack Black. He did Kung Fu Panda. He also did I forgot in the Street Fighter movie, he did like the final boss, which is like this big guy. So he could do deep voices. He also voice acted in video games. He has his own YouTube channel. It just makes sense. It's
yeah.
A lot of people want him to break out into a musical number.
As Bowser.
As Bowser.
Yes. I could totally see that as like a comedic trope in the movie. Mm-hmm. He's got like all of his Koopas as backup singers. He's just like singing over them
because in recent times, ever since 3D World, Bowser has always been accompanied with rock music. So I could totally see him do like something like that. And the way they're going with this cast, I could totally this is going to be a comedic movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, he's going to do great. Like, I could picture that. Then we got Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. This raises a lot of questions. But go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know how this one's going to fit.
Oh, no, I could see how this one's going to fit. Have you seen his skits?
Yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't really strike me as like a... If he's playing Toad, he's going to strike me as like a very sassy Toad.
Yes,
That's how
I
I
could
would see it.
that's how I would see it too. And I think if they're changing the voices on any of these characters, it would be Toad. I don't think it's gonna be the raspy like hello. Like
What up?
oh, I don't think it's me, would it be that? Like everyone's seen the AA Ron kind of skit. I think half of his whole kind of voice is gonna be him yelling to an extent. Because he's done high pitched yelling in some of his skits. And you could search, just Key and Peele to find it, and you'll find him. It's like, I think part of his like delivery is him yelling in high pitched tone.
I wouldn't call it high pitched.
It's
y'all say
higher...
some city name.
No, but like when he yells, I get the sense of Toad now, I guess. I could totally see him having that kind of tone. Because when I think of Toad, I think that raspy voice delivery, but I also think yelling and screaming. Like, wow, I'm running away.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think, and maybe it's just I haven't seen the proper content from Key, Key. Like, it just he doesn't strike me as somebody who would do like a Toad voice. I think what would be kind of funny is like if he swears, like he's yelling and like he starts swearing.
He starts swearing.
And it's just
that's not
ding.
Gonna happen.
No, it's like the ding sound over the swear word. Like when you go up and punch the block, it's like boom, boom.
That's
every time he tries to say a word that is a bit too vulgar for the younger audience.
Do you think there's going to be more than one Toad? And
that's
if so, is he going to
gonna
voice all of them? Yeah. Because
I don't know.
Toad is, meant to be basically the citizens of the castle, or
yeah.
So I think he's gonna voice all of them in different inflections, and then there's gonna be the one Toad that goes on the quote unquote adventure, and that's the yeah. Okay, yes. And then we got Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, which confirms Donkey Kong's in the movie.
I'm not sure who's gonna fit in, to be honest. Normally, it's either Mario against Donkey Kong or Mario against Bowser.
It's gonna be Mario against Bowser. I mean, it's the classic story.
Well yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. I don't know where Donkey Kong's going to fit in.
Yeah, is Donkey Kong gonna help defeat Bowser or
help defeat Mario?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Because
which, if they have Donkey Kong, it also raises the question: are they gonna have like Diddy Kong? Are they gonna have any other?
So they did confirm Cranky Kong.
That's what I meant, Cranky Kong.
Yeah, but I would be so surprised if they didn't include Diddy Kong. But so this was the last character that got its own kind of slide. Everyone got like a single slide, and then after that, then we got the quote unquote smaller characters. So Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, I think honestly a good kind of, because there isn't really a basis on Donkey Kong's voice. Yeah. He doesn't really talk in video games, and I don't think the animated TV show is a good thing to go off of. So, yeah.
I mean, when I think of Seth Rogen, I just think of his laugh.
Yeah. And I think like Donkey Kong would be something
that into the character.
Yeah, and I think it'd work. Yeah. So then we go to the smaller characters, and a part of me thinks Donkey Kong's gonna be a part of this bigger journey, and then these smaller characters. So. Hold on, let me backtrack. We got smaller characters: Cranky Kong, Kamek, and Spike. So Cranky Kong by Fred Amerson. He's an energetic comedian. He's fairly old, I believe. I'm trying to remember his face. Yes, he's an older comedian, so I think it'll work well. I can picture him being like, you whippersnappers, yada yada yada.
I think if it wasn't so geared towards kids, I think Clint Eastwood would be a pretty good Cranky Kong.
Yeah.
Because he's just always like gritting in his face. And
speaking of gritting, then we got Keegan Michael Richardson as Kamek. So Kamek, the guy on a broom. You usually know him for his laugh, like, and then he does the little dusting of a character, they turn big or whatever. But I don't picture him with a deep, dark voice. And literally all Kevin does is deep voices. So he's been doing this for 30 years, and every single role he's voice acted in was a deep voice. So I doubt he's gonna change it up now. So
I don't know.
I don't know. Kamek is just gonna. I think it could be played as a joke, where it's like you see Kamek and he's like, "Hello,
what up?"
Yeah, what up? Like, for example, like in Lilo and Stitch, right? You had that like shark commander guy.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember. Yeah, he had a really deep voice. He's like presenting yada yada yada, and then yeah, I cannot picture Kamek with a deep voice. But I could probably, it'll work. They'll make it work. That's the thing. Like, even though we're all like, I can't see these characters, they'll make it work somehow.
Yeah.
And then last one we got is Sebastian. I forgot how you pronounce his last name, but he's playing Spike, and Spike was in the original Wrecking Crew game. And Wrecking Crew was the first game Mario was ever introduced to, and it's basically you and Luigi, Mario and Luigi rebuild this kind of tower, and it's an arcade game. And then Spike is the foreman and basically your boss. So
yeah, I don't know how he's going to fit in.
So my prediction with this story really quick is it's kind of an origin story. You get Mario and Luigi working for Spike or whatever, and then maybe, I don't know, they find a tunnel to Mushroom Kingdom.
A pipe.
But also going through Mushroom Kingdom, they go through Donkey Kong Country.
That would be cool.
And then that's where they meet Donkey Kong. And then, of course, to save Peach from Bowser. Or it could just be all of the Super Mario people against a random enemy. That's another way they could do it.
I don't know. I think they're going to stick with Bowser as the villain.
Yeah. Why is Jack Black? What do you mean? Like, unless they're going to cut to like the Bowser's perspective sometimes, which they could do. They did that with was it the Lego Movie? Yeah. So it's definitely something.
I don't foresee them choking this.
So yeah, I mean, this might be the first legitimately good video game movie. We had the Pokemon Detective Pikachu. That was pretty good. We had Sonic. That was pretty good. But now I think this is going to be on the level of could break box office records. Good.
I mean, I can foresee that, but that's also a very, very large
well, yeah,
suspicion.
Well, they literally, what is their budget for this movie?
Oh, I know it have all these big time names.
Yeah.
Must be. So this is why we aren't getting your Switch Pro. They're putting all their budget into this stupid movie.
Yeah. But other than that, I think the movie is going to turn out pretty good. I feel like we're going to see a trailer probably sometime in December. Like, oh, here's a little Christmas gift. Maybe either on its own or as probably in a direct. Yeah. So, that's basically everything in the Nintendo Direct. What did you think?
Overall, I thought it was pretty solid. For me, many of the games they showed aren't really relevant or pertinent to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, relatively, it was like meh. But I know that given the atmosphere of a lot of like the other franchises and the fans of those franchises, it was definitely a very big one.
Yeah. I think this is by far one of the best directs, and I'm saying this almost a week after watching it, because usually, like with the February direct, I thought that direct was really good. But then after a week, you're like, you know what? The only thing I really enjoyed was Mario. Or not Mario, it was Splatoon 2 being announced. Or Splatoon 3 being announced. So, but looking back at this, there was so much. It started off light with Monster Hunter, but then it went up, and then it didn't go down. It just stagnated, and then it went up, and then it went flat, then it went up, and I feel like that's what a good direct does, is it spaces off the high points, throws in a curveball, that being in the movie cast, and then you're like, oh, they have Splatoon 3. What else could they announce that's even better? A long-awaited game 4 years away,
Yeah.
So I think this is by far, this could have passed as an E3 direct, I feel like. If they made this, if they put this during E3, I think it could have been an E3 direct.
Pretty big acclamation there.
Yeah. But yeah, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. The only reason I'm docking it a point is because we didn't get an official reveal for Smash Bros. And if they had a Smash Bros. Reveal, that would have been by far the best direct.
Ever. Yeah, I agree. Whoa, what's that down there? Is that a like button? You guys see that too? Hey, if you see it like me, you should probably click it. I mean, it's super easy. One touch if you're on mobile, scroll down, one click if you're on PC. Can't get much easier than that.
And if you're already down there, might as well subscribe. We do these podcast episodes every week, as well as a Nintendo News Weekly, and then weekly broadcasts as well. You get 3 content in one. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. So yeah, back to the video. This is probably going to be the longest podcast episode yet. We still have to talk about the Pokemon trailers. We got 2 new trailers for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I don't know why they didn't show this in the Direct. This came out like a day or two, 5 days later, sorry. 5 days later after the Direct. I don't know why they didn't want to put it in there. But new looks at Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Arceus. We'll start with the latter, or Brilliant Diamond. No TMs. There's no TMs in the game. It's called Poketech. It's like the new phone, I guess. And it's kind of funny because in the trailer, instead of like, because of course the Switch doesn't have a bottom screen, they now just have another screen on the top right.
Yeah. I don't know how I like that.
You know?
I mean, I've been raised on 2-screen Pokemon games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not vibing with me.
Well, I think
seeing it take up like what should be the normal screen. I don't know. I mean, you've played on single screen consoles before, so maybe you're just more used to it.
Well, I mean, I've played, dual screen Pokemon games as well, and I feel like it is a little difficult remaking a game that was based around that and then putting it on a console. But they were able to do it with Sword and Shield with, just a button press and you bring up a menu. So I don't see why they couldn't have done that here, where you push a button and then you bring up the second menu, which they could have a little animation of you pulling out your phone, and that's it. But
I think it's because with the Gen 4, like what the second screen was used for was, I mean, they had like the watch, they had the counter, they had all the various things. Mm-hmm. So it's not really stuff that you periodically look at. You would like have it open. It's like having a second monitor. It's stuff you keep open.
Oh yeah, so they have
to watch both at once.
So the Dowsing Machine app. This is like one of the apps that you could locate hidden items, and then you could call Pokemon to perform actions that removes TMs. So I mean, it makes sense because in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you had Mount Cornet, which was the basis for progression, because you go there and, I don't have the TM for cut. I can't go past here. I'll come back once I have it. So it makes sense that they're making this an app because, of course, once you beat the gym that you need, then they're like, here, we'll download, the app for cut into your Poketech. And then once you get that, then you can. So there's still the TM progression there. It's just in an app. And I don't know how I feel about it either. It's like, I just don't know.
I honestly like it better because I don't know if you have to have that party Pokemon or like that Pokemon in your party.
I don't think so, because it says in the press release, it summons a random Pokemon to perform the action.
Then yeah, I think I personally like it more. I don't like having to carry around an HM slave.
Well, I mean, I do too, but it's like in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining, or not, in Pokemon Sword and Shield, all you need to do is if the Pokemon in your party would be able to learn it, it will be able to do it. If that makes sense. It just
doesn't take up an actual slot.
It doesn't take up an actual slot, except Fly, because there is the taxi service, and then that was your Fly. But I think the only reason they didn't do it in that route is because they have the Mount Cornet progression and the TMs there. Because if you had cut right when you get a Pokemon that can learn cut, then you could just speedrun through Mount Cornet, and then it loses that nostalgia, I guess.
The sense of progression.
Yeah.
See, I think I prefer this. Maybe not this specific kind of system, but I just prefer not having to keep around that Pokemon.
I do too.
We'll get into this later, but I think it would be cool for Legends Arceus to have this kind of system because you're in the wild where like whistle and you'd call a Pokemon to your aid and they'd do whatever HM you would need to be that would need to be done.
Yeah.
But with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl being a more traditional, you go on routes.
Yeah, it is an open
tall
world.
grass. It's not open world. I don't know. I think it's not as pertinent to these games to have a system like that.
Yeah.
Even if I think the system is better, I think it just doesn't fit as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think because they do have, I think this game is just the exception because they had Mount Cornet, which is that had that TM progression. And I think every other game will do what Sword and Shield did. If the Pokemon can learn it, it can use it. But the only reason this game didn't was because Mount Cornet. And hopefully there isn't a different, I don't think there is any other game that has the similar kind of style. But yeah. Next little thing they announced was have fun with Pokemon in Amity Square. Amity Square is in Heart Home City. It is a relaxing place where trainers can spend time with their Pokemon. You can have your whole party follow you, and it's basically just Pokemon Camp and Sword and Shield.
Nothing too groundbreaking, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's instead of setting up camp, you just go to a town, and they're like, oh, here, let out on your Pokemon, and you can have them run around, and they can have them follow you. Then you could... It looks like they just took the minigame from Sword and Shield, which is fine, I guess, but you literally have the same motions. Oh, stir the pot. Oh, add your food. Ta-da! Your Pokemon like it or not. So,
yeah.
It's all right, I guess. Anything you want to add?
I mean, I really do enjoy the kind of like mini games for your Pokemon, like the beauty pageants or the performances, those kinds of things. I think they're nice like side additions where you're not going to do it much, but it's like when you go through it, it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Like I mean, even in Gen 5, I know you could unlock different articles of clothing for the pageant that would like alter your score, I believe. And I think Gen 3, I only played Auraz, I didn't play the originals, but I think they had a similar like pageant or some sort of like dance. It was something, but I do enjoy these kinds of like side games, and so to like have a spot to interact with your Pokemon, I think is a fair addition.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. You can have your whole party run loose. So it's like it's a little pen, I guess, and you have your whole party, and you could run around the area with your Pokemon. In Sword and Shield, you were like just first person looking at your Pokemon running around. But I think it's cool that you can run around with your Pokemon now.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things like with the anime, like when they set up camp, they'll always like they open up all 6 of their Pokemon and they go out and like they have a little Poke Chow or whatever it's called. I think it'd be kind of like again, this is more for an open world, I guess, but even in like a more mainline game, I think it'd be cool that you'd be able to call out your whole party and just chill with them, even if it's in like a dedicated location.
They did that in Sword and Shield. You set up camp and you're able to call out your whole party, but then again, you weren't running around with them. It was just that. It'd be cool if if you're able to, and I think that'd be the next logical step to this system because I think they're trying to add this in every game, and I think in Arceus they're going to include this as well, because in Arceus you're just able to throw a Pokeball down and then that Pokemon's there. You don't even
So it's like a Pokecraft or whatever the Pokemon mod is for
or Pixelmon.
Pixelmon. Yeah.
Speaking of the beauty pageant, you can now, they confirmed Poffins. We didn't know if they were going to add it back or not, but Poffins make a return. It boosts the beauty pageant topics and the tree or whatever, boosts coolness and cuteness. You can get higher scores during the visual evaluations of super contest shows. And then you can now make Poffins at Amity Square in the little area, but you also could still make it in traditional sense at the bakery. Yeah, I mean, are you really gonna do the contest?
Probably not often, but again, I stand by my previous point that they're nice additions, and like occasionally, you go back to them. They're just kind of fun things to do.
I get that you need to have something other than battling, but I never was a big fan of the beauty contest. It's more like, oh yes, tap at the same time. Like if there maybe it was a rhythm of the game, I'd like it. I did like the one in black and white, the one where they didn't even have a beauty contest. It was the battle stadium, and you fought past trainers from past generations. And I thought that was cool.
That was the black and white too.
Yeah, that was black and white too. What was in black and white?
It was the like the dance pageant. So you dress them up in various outfits.
Oh, that's right. That's
and then
right.
like you chose when you did your special moves and the show, and like when you do those moves determines like your score.
I think that's what they're actually adding, because it's not called the beauty pageant anymore. It's called the Super Contest Show. And
very specific.
They showed that there's like a new music kind of style to it where your Pokemon dances and you get to choose when you do a move to like wow the judges.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like the first Gen 5 one.
I am not going to be playing it much. Probably do enough to 100% the game, get the badges. That's about it. Maybe
I still don't know if I'm going to get the game.
Oh, are you serious? It's like, what do you mean? It's like the callback to what you've been wanting.
I've been wanting Gen 5. I don't know. I haven't been on the Gen 4 train.
Well, I mean, it's like, I'm saying it's like back to the original kind of thing. Because Sword and Shield was straying a little bit away. It's what Pokemon needed.
Yeah.
But speaking of just the way the game looks, it looks so much better now. They really meant it when they said still in development. Which is so weird to think about. Because when you think of trailers, you think of, oh yes, this game's already finished, right? Like this game is how it's going to look. But the more I think about it, the more like, oh yeah, why aren't trailers more like this, where the game is still in development? So I think,
I still don't like the Chibi or Chi, whatever the
Chibi.
Yeah, I still don't. I can't get myself to like that.
I didn't like it at first, but that's because we only saw like one angle. But now I see it's like dynamic angles, and there's like the side view where when you're talking to someone, the camera like shifts for like kind of like an over the shoulder. But since you're Chibi, it's not really over the shoulder; it's over your whole body. But I think it looks good. I still don't know if I'd like the full renders of like all the people. Let's just go right into the next topic. The characters. We got Cheryl and Riley. Cheryl, I forgot what she does. She's just a side character. And then Riley, which is a mysterious ally, which I believe was a Platinum exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Gen 4 all the way through. I played a little bit of them. He definitely, I like his outfit. I'll say that. I'm assuming he's going to be a dark type. Like, main.
I think his main character is the Lucario. Yeah, fighting.
That's the thing, though. Like, because I mean, his hat looks like a haunch crow.
He probably is gonna have one. Team of 6. I believe he was a Platinum exclusive, so maybe this confirms Platinum content. I don't know if we still don't know if they're adding Giratina yet. It's kind of getting a little close. So if they don't add Giratina, I'd be a little disappointed, but I'm pretty sure they will. It's post-game content. But
that or they're gonna push it off to Legends.
Oh, you know what? That would make sense. To sell Legends, they'd be like,
where's Giratina?
Giratinas would be in Legends. But here's the thing. Do you think at the end of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, there's gonna be like a tease to Legends?
I think it's possible. I wouldn't put it past them. I think I said this in a previous episode when we covered the
whole Pokemon
Pokemon thing. I think I mentioned that they might use Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl to set up Legends, just because it's technically in the same they're both offshoots of Gen 4. Arceus was a Gen 4 Pokemon, and it's got like the Sinnoh characters just in different outfits. So I could foresee it happening, and that's what I think Giratina could be like a snowball for that.
I think Giratina will be in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, but you can't catch him at all until Arceus comes out. Then you could be transferred to home, then from home transferred to the game. But I don't know why you'd want to transfer Pokemon to Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. because I don't know. Why would you? Because it's not competitive. Still Sword and Shield is competitive. But yeah. Yeah, but speaking of the characters, I don't really like the full character renders. Something's a little off about them. They seem a little too plastic to me. I mean, I like the characters themselves. I just don't know if I like the renders. That's just me, though.
That might also change. I mean, it's less likely, but
yeah,
that is something that basically time will tell.
Yep. But yeah, Brilliant Dimension Pro, more stuff. Game looks a lot better. I'm more excited for it. Next we got Pokemon's Legends Arceus. Whew.
A real.
Yeah, a lot of stuff got announced. This was a little crazy. So we got the Arc Phone. I don't know if I like the addition to this. The Arc Phone is early on your adventure, players will go and get a device called the Arc Phone. Its distinctive appearance might lead you to suspect it has some connection to the mythical Pokemon Arceus. This device seems to contain some sort of strange power and will apparently guide players on their journey.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like kind of a...
This is supposed to be set 400 years in the past.
Yeah, well, that's one. The Pokeballs are of a different design, and you have
a phone.
Yeah. But I also think it's kind of a cop out. Like the Rotom decks, I feel like it's going to be kind of like that in the sense where it's more interactive.
I think they were just lazy and they couldn't think of any other way.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Rotom decks made sense. This doesn't.
Most
really.
likely.
Oh.
At the beginning of the story, there's going to be like a meteorite crash down. And they're like, oh, what is that? Go explore. And it's going to be the Arc Phone.
Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, where was Arceus found in the original Gen 4 games? So I know you have to you
have to go up this like spiritual steps, I believe.
Like at Spiral Tower?
Kind of like, is it called Spiral Tower? I actually have no idea. But I know you go into like this separate sort of world dimension in a sense. But like everyone was, because there was a button for like a phone in the original trailer, and everyone's like, oh, it can't be a phone. This is like 400 years in the past. But no, it's a phone. So realistically, this is probably going to be like, it's not going to be too much. It's not going to be like, oh, you can make phone calls.
It's not like Gen 4 where you're like, the counter, the calculator.
Yeah.
Or, Gen 5's the X transceiver.
Well, yeah, and then X and Y, it's like literally
Hollow,
everything.
Whatever the thing is called.
Or not an X, Y, and Sword and Shield. There's, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, an X and Y was Hollow. Sword and Shield is YCOM. This one this is a single player game, so I don't need any online connectivity. Or it is a multiplayer game, but I don't think it's like multiplayer. But it says it'll guide players on their journey, so it'd probably be like, oh, there is a phenomenon in this area, and then you run over to that area, you do it, and then you go story, and then your phone rings again. You're like, oh, why is this phone telling me to go to these areas? And, yeah.
Like Arceus is leading you to him.
Yeah. Trying to solve the issues. Speaking of areas, most of the things that I guess we'll be doing on our journey is finding special Pokemons with mysterious powers. During their expeditions, player will run into Pokemon that are larger than normal and have glowing red eyes. We already knew about this. Something is making them into a frenzy. But there's also special Pokemon in Hisui region that have received some kind of mysterious blessing. Pokemon are particularly powerful and have come to be known as nobles, while others are said to willingly assist the people in the region.
Yeah, I think that the whole the negative energy possession thing, that might be a product of Giratina.
Well, so there's two different dark brooding Pokemon that got introduced in Gen 4, Darkrai and Giratina.
Yeah, but I mean Darkrai was more like he gives you nightmares.
Yeah.
It doesn't really corrupt you.
But I think it'd be cool if they're working together in a sense.
Well, then they would have to have a Cresselia. I think that's the alternative.
I could totally see them having all the mythical Pokemon in this game.
Yeah,
that would be super cool.
Because it makes sense. They're mythical, so they would have been around for years and
years.
Yeah,
you are the one making the Pokedex entry for these Pokemon, even if you don't get to catch them, which is You have to be able to catch them.
I would imagine so.
You're like changing the course of time if you do that. But you'd have to be the one writing these descriptions for all these Pokemon. Like, even if you don't catch them, you're gonna see them. You're gonna see Darkrai flying across the sky. That'd be so cool. I'd be like freaking out of it. Like, oh, is that Darkrai?
In the open world, you just walk and it's like, hey, what's that up there?
Yeah, and it's just Darkrai. Yeah, that'd be super cool. Oh, and then you got Celebi. Who else you got? Shaman.
Jirachi
as well. Yeah, Jirachi as well. Yeah, the wish giving that's another one. Instead of Darkrai, you see Jirachi in the air and you're like, oh, let me make a wish, yada yada yada. But these special Pokemon are revered to the people of the region, but some strange phenomenon is now causing them to suddenly fly into a frenzy. One of the noble Pokemon that we have seen is Kleavor, which is an axe Pokemon. In its description, it says special minerals found in the Hisui region cause Scyther to evolve into this Pokemon. It is said that people from the Hisui once used pieces of stone that have fallen off Kleavor to craft tools.
Pretty interesting dex entry. I know in the trailer they were showing the fight with it, and he was just like chopping at you. He was not.
So I like the new way the fights are going to happen. It's you versus the Pokemon, and then you somehow like tire the Pokemon out, and then you throw in your Pokemon. And I think that's really cool. Very interesting.
One thing that was kind of interesting was that in the trailer they show the Oshawott fighting it. So I'm wondering if this is an early game.
Oh, this is definitely early game. I feel like because
they usually reveal stuff that's in the early game rather than the late game.
The dex entry itself makes me believe that you're like, oh, you know what? I need. You're talking to the elders or whatever, and you need Pokeballs and stuff. But coincidentally, they don't have stone tools to make Pokeballs anymore. So they're like, oh, you know what? There's actually this Pokemon in this forest area that...
good. I mean, it'll just fall off them. It'll be easy.
Well, because these Pokemon are known to be nice and help, people.
Yeah, and then you get there.
And then you get there and this Pokemon's in a frenzy. Yeah, this Pokemon's in a frenzy. And then you get the stone tools, bring it back, you get Pokeballs. But then the Team Galactic is like, oh, this isn't normal. This has been happening a lot. And, you took this one down. So how about you research the other ones? But yeah, they actually didn't say that Scyther, or this was the evolution of Scyther in the trailer. Yeah, so this is on the press release. So I think this is like a split evolution. It goes Scyther Scizor or Scyther Kleavor.
I don't know though, because it's so much bigger. Like,
you need a steel plate to evolve
was like a
Scyther.
Giant.
Yeah, this says specifically. Scyther evolves into this Pokemon.
Yeah, I know, but I'm think it's got to be some kind of like special thing because the size difference is just massive. I don't think there's any.
Oh yeah, totally. I think
jump that big.
Yeah.
Maybe actually no. Basculin and Basculegion. That's a
we'll get into there, but I don't know if I like this design
of the
Pokemon.
Yeah, it was kind of funky.
Yeah, it's rock bug type, which is pretty good typing, but it looks too humanoid for a Pokemon.
Too anthropomorphic.
Yeah, because it looks humanoid, but it also looks so humanoid, it looks weird being not humanoid, if that makes sense. It has eyes, it has like a rock mask that makes it seem like a human, but then it has a super thin body. So it's like you're a rock Pokemon, but you're not a thick boy. So it doesn't make sense.
It was rock and what else?
Rock and bug.
It doesn't make sense either because normally it's like bugs are known for having like big abdomens compared to like the rest of their
it doesn't make. I think they could have did. Yeah, I don't know because rock Pokemon are known to be like a lot of beefy like boulders.
Gigalith.
Yeah, and bug Pokemon are known to have big abdomens. I just don't like how he has thin arms. He's a rock Pokemon. He should have big arms. Yeah.
So like boulders for like biceps.
But it's an interesting boss battle, interesting stuff. There's going to be more noble Pokemon. I'm pretty sure we're going to get like noble versions of a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon. putting my money on
They're
it.
gonna be just Gen or 2-stage evolutions, and this was like technically the 3rd stage, or are they gonna?
I think they're gonna have. I'm gonna kind of like answer your question with a semi-answer. I'm gonna put money on it. We're gonna get a noble version of Gyarados, and he's gonna be the water kind of boss.
Yes.
Yeah, and that would be theoretically like a 3rd stage evolution.
That'd be kind of cool. You ride up on your Basculegion, and he just like comes out of the water, and you're like fighting him on the water. It's like a like D2C
because it says the noble Pokemon are known to be bigger than normal Pokemon.
Yeah.
So maybe that answers your question about being the size difference.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even I think in Gen 7 too, they like the Totem Pokemon, weren't they bigger?
Oh yeah, the Totem Pokemon were bigger. And when you sent him out in battle, there is a size difference. But if you transfer the Pokemon to a different game, then they lose their, size, I guess.
Size. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think, of course, I don't know how many there's gonna be. How many? What do you want to call it? Boss battles, noble Pokemon, because they also announced gym leaders, which we'll get into that. They're not really gym leaders, but they also announced a sort of pseudo gym leader.
Yeah.
So this
trope for this gen.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how linear this game's going to be, because you could either go ahead, talk to the gym leaders, or you could go ahead and do what your Arceus phone says, or you could follow the story. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, one thing that is like, I noticed I think the wardens are the ones who guard the noble Pokemon, aren't they?
Is that true? Here, we'll go straight to the wardens. We got to see new characters. They two basically, or 2 types of characters. Wardens, which seem to be descendants of Gen 4 gym leaders, which kind of makes sense. And then just galactic team members, which is Mai and Arzu, which look like Marley and Mars. Gotta say, Mai is be looking like a new waifu.
Man, it's like at least it's 3-dimensional this time. It's not a 2-dimensional drawing.
Yeah, they're basically leaning all into this. Oh, we have descendants now. That makes sense. Literally, like, yeah. They have like a cowboy kid, and I forgot what the gym leader looks like, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
That sounds familiar enough.
I don't know if the wardens protect the nobles.
They protect, because I know in the trailer there was a scene where it's like, even I can't approach the Pokemon without some kind of offering.
That would make sense. So maybe it's not protect, it's maybe they just like guard that region, because we've seen the map already, and we know it's split up into like 6 different sections, even though there's only one town, which I don't think there is only one town, but I don't know. From what
one declared town.
Yeah. But that might be it. Like, you go talk to the warden tells you, oh, maybe gives you a puzzle or whatever. Then you find that Pokemon from whatever they told you.
Or maybe it's like you were saying, they guard a region, and it's like, if you want to get into my region, you have to pass, X amount of requirements.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the characters. We'll get back to the next one. There was a lot of transportation shown off, which was kind of weird because we already know there's a bunch of transportation, and I feel like they spent a lot of time on that specific subject.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the trailer, the drive-by Basculegion like Pokeball throw was pretty
that's
cool.
Gonna be really cool. Yeah, it kind of feels like an FPS in a sense. Like you're all like this, and then I think they pulled the Breath of the Wild. I don't know exactly. When you target, the kind of goes down the slow motion, the screen zooms in, there's a vignette, and then you like, whoosh, and then you throw it. And then after you throw it, then everything zooms out, and then it's back to normal speed. They're clearly basing this game off of Breath of the Wild. I think they even said they're taking direct inspiration. Coincidentally, they didn't show in any of the trailers that this is a quote-unquote open world game. And I think that's a little worrying. I'm not going to lie.
I know. Yeah, everybody's just kind of seen it, and they're like, "Oh, it's open world," because you go out and you explore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they haven't like come out and said it. Mm-hmm. Like maybe it's like an open world, but you're still forced onto a linear path.
Which
I hope not. I hope but I think if it was really that open world, they would have announced it as a marketing tool.
Well, yeah, exactly. They said they're taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild, and the more and more I see, the more I'm like, they're definitely taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
But huh.
So it's kind of like the Fallout system, like the zoom in part, mm-hmm. where like you can like freeze, you aim, and see like what has the highest percent of your hit landing. I think. Yeah. I think it might be. I doubt they're going to do something exactly like that, especially since Fallout isn't one of their franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the whole taking from Breath of the Wild isn't inherently a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing either. Yeah. They're also, I think they deconfirmed TMs because they had the flute, which calls your Pokemon that you're able to ride. But what's interesting, I don't know if you saw on the bottom right of the screen, you saw a plus with like a silhouette of the Pokemon. So I think it's Basculegion is water. What's it? The ancient
reindeer one.
The ancient Weirdeer is land, and then the ancient what's the
Braviary?
Braviary is air. So I think you're maybe able to just call it at any point in time, and you'll just get one of those 3 Pokemon. Maybe you have to unlock it, or maybe you just have it from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to give all of them. Maybe the land one. That's probably what they'll give you first, is the land one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I don't know how soon you'd unlock the other ones.
So, yeah, do you have to have them in your party, or do you have to just unlock them?
No, because then that's 3 that you'd have to have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really 3, because if each section is based off of like, of course, they could have a whole section based off of just water. And, of course, you wouldn't have Weirdeer in there. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole like fighting a Gyarados on a Basculegion is you're like running circles around him, just trying to dodge the attacks mid-ocean. I think that'd be a pretty like cinematic and awesome scene.
So we've taught. I did mention animations before. I think the animations are looking way better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed they actually have mouth movements, and they're actually like looking now. They're not just like yada yada yada. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they actually have like mouth movements, and then instead of their whole body movement, their head moves to like the person they're talking to, and then their arms kind of sway. So they're getting there. And also like it isn't like a basic walking animation anymore. When you call a Weirdeer, you get the trot. It's a trot now, and it looks like it's adapting to the ground, which is not that hard.
Rather than the sword and shield.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they only did Weirdeer because a lot of people are gonna use Weirdeer, so they just busted out the animation budget for that one.
Or they want to redeem themselves on the like 4-legged animal walking animation.
I don't know if I like Basculegion's animation though. I don't know if you see it. Like it looks very stiff. It's literally just it's Model T posing, but he doesn't have arms, so it's just and you just go like. And I'm like, I don't know. And then when it moves only the back and the front stays the same, it looks like it's still very stiff. And I think the reason is I think it's because I think the ghost smoke or whatever is smoke when it's not. That is his fins. And it's not smoke. And I think, just in my head, I think it's smoke.
I don't know. I mean, I'd hope that they make it, since it's kind of a longer Pokemon, it's more like curving and not just...
Yeah. I mean,
know,
they still got...
That could change, though, with time.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've seen with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, they definitely can change the game with time. And I feel like it's something fairly simple. They could get done in like a day with that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you wanted to add on just the rideable Pokemon?
No, not really.
Yeah, I like the flute idea. No TMs. Yeah. So they showed off a bunch of stuff in Jubilife Village. That's like the main village. Check out some facilities in your home base. You got the clothier and hairdresser. We'll get more into that in a sec. The photography studio and the general store and Craftworks. Those are the 3 they showed off. Or they showed off one more, but that's a lot. So the clothier and hairdresser, what did you think?
I am looking pretty forward to the amount of customization. There was a lot of stuff you can change your character with.
So in Sword and Shield, they saw the feedback that everyone loved customization, so they're just like, Okay,
Go for it.
let's just do like a bunch more. And I didn't see how many haircuts they were, but they looked like there was a lot. Honestly, I still think I might stick with the original outfit just because that's how I like to play. I like being basic. But if there's like a black version or like a white version, I'd probably wear that one.
My X and Y character was like all black.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think at most I changed my haircut. I don't know. It depends if there's something really something really good I like. Because what I saw is something that breaks me out of the immersion. Because I saw like maybe Gengar kind of outfit, a Charizard hoodie. Like, this is 400 years in the past. I shouldn't be wearing a hoodie and stuff like that. Like,
I didn't. A lot of what they showed were like kimonos and I guess more.
Did they show kimonos?
I'm pretty sure.
A
lot of it looked like just more traditional Japanese clothing.
Okay. So what I vividly remember, and I think probably the only reason why I remember it is because I have an issue with it, is this the hoodie and the t-shirts.
Yeah, I don't even remember the hoodie.
Yeah, I know.
I do remember the t-shirt though.
Yeah, so it was just like I wouldn't put that on my character because that would break me out of the immersion of this being
older, more traditional.
Yeah, older more. But if it's a kimono and something of that sense, yeah, maybe I would.
Yeah.
Then you got the photography studio. You're able to place the Pokemon and yourself inside like certain scenes and take photos. Do you ever use photography in games?
Sometimes. I think depending if this has any ulterior uses, then probably.
Oh, I don't think it will.
But I mean, I'll probably take one with like my main Pokemon, and that'll be it.
The only time I'd use it was for thumbnails, and I've only used it like 4 times just to get like close-ups. And they've been doing this a lot since the Switch has the inbuilt capture button before basically anyone else did. Like Nintendo started the whole share feature, capture feature before any other console did. They've just been going hard at it. Mario Odyssey had the photo feature. Pokemon Sword and Shield didn't, but like Animal Crossing had a photo feature. It's basically just pose and take a photo. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get more into it now that I'm in graphic design and I appreciate composition, but
oh, this photo is beautiful. Look at the angle he's coming at.
I was thinking about it. Like, I want to upload stuff on Instagram, and wouldn't it be really cool if you did just photos of Pokemon? And yeah, I think that'd be cool. So this kind of leads into my Cleavor prediction. You got the General Studios and Craftworks. If players used up their items on previous excursions, they can replenish their supplies at the general store. They can also use in-game currency to buy new crafting recipes and materials from the Craftworks.
See, I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly they would be crafting because I'm assuming some of the items aren't going to be in here.
I think
like a lot of the more tech-based stuff, I don't foresee being in this game as like items to hold.
I think this is like you're too lazy to craft it. Just buy it from here.
Oh yeah,
and then
I think it's probably going to be at a heightened price.
Oh yeah, for a height, yeah, definitely. And then if you want, so maybe when you first get introduced to something, like I'm just going to throw out a Master Ball. You only get to craft one with like a special ore or whatever. But just say the Master Ball's in the shop. The first thing you do is you would buy it there. You're like, oh, I like this. Then you buy the recipe from them, so then you don't need to buy it from the general store every single time.
Yeah, that might be like you have to buy the recipes. That might be a way, or you could unlock them depending on what it is. I feel like either of those is
I feel like both of them are a good progression system.
Because like, I mean, you think about other games, you buy TMs, they're either found or you buy them at the Pokemart. So
yeah, that just makes sense. And there's so many Pokeballs, so it would make sense if you're like, oh yes, I want to make a love ball, but I don't want to really buy the recipe for it. I only need one for this specific Pokemon. And
you're gonna need a lot of Pokeballs, but you're probably not gonna need a lot of like dust balls or
different type of Pokeballs. Yeah,
net balls.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of capturing Pokemon in different Pokeballs, they have basically the Pokemon Center, and it's called the Pasture. So the pastures are where Pokemon can leave Pokemon that have been caught. Many Pokemon will need to be caught to complete the Pokedex, but only 6 can be taken out as a farm. Only 6 can be taken out at a time.
All right.
So this basically means there's no portable PC, I presume. It also makes me think, is there going to be like a healing area?
I think if there is, it's not going to be like, you put the Pokeballs in the tray and it's like down, 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 out, down.
Yeah, maybe they take it to the back and then put spray potion on it or whatever.
Or like you put it by like a campfire and you rest, quote unquote.
So we already know that there's going to be like campsites outside of the town, but I don't know how they'd like, is the pasture going to be there at the campsite? I don't know how they'd like fit that in the story wise.
I don't know.
Would you have to go back to the town every single time you wanted to change your Pokemon?
And it's like, all your Pokemon are fainted, so you can't, like, you're just trekking through them. Everyone's just clawing at you. And you can't fight back at all.
So, I mean, I think how the game progression is going to go, or the gameplay loop, is you go on an expedition, you choose the Pokemon you choose, or you want to go out there. You go there.
Oh, and you keep them until you're done with that expedition.
And then you come back, claim the rewards for the expedition, and then switch out the Pokemon for the next one. And I think the checkpoints is like, okay, your expedition is over here at this checkpoint. So then you go there, and then the person there tells you what the exact expedition is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it just lends more to the whole 400 years ago kind of thing. And I'm glad they're not doing a portable PC. Because I forgot, what's this one saying? Like, what is limitations? What's it? Limitations enhance creativity or something like that. Because I don't know. I just like being engulfed in the idea that this world is 400 years ago. And I don't mind that there isn't a portable PC. When in my mindset, like, yeah, there shouldn't be.
I basically stick to like the same party. I don't really change out my Pokemon anyway, so I don't really.
I don't think I would either. Like Sword and Shield is probably the most I changed out my Pokemon, just because I was experimenting a lot.
And like if I catch one, then I'll swap it in, but I never really like swap them back out.
Yeah.
So
it also makes me think, like, is there going to be like, oh, you caught too many Pokemon, release one now, or is it like just send it over, or is it like?
Yeah, I don't know how it would work. I know in the anime, if you catch like a 7th one, it just stays in like a small ball. Like you can't open it up.
Well, that'd be
kind of. Might do something like that.
Yeah. And you have to like take it over to the pasture to. Well, I mean, by that time, if you already go to the pasture, you should just be able to swap it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's everything on the new stuff we've seen. What do you think of the game so far?
Still probably going to get it.
Yeah.
It's even more rare. I'm openly admitting to wanting to buy the game, not even just on the fence.
I'm definitely
rare occasion for me.
I'm also definitely gonna pick it up. I'm still surprised that they're not doing 2 different versions. You think Pokemon and you think, Arceus, Giratina, or whatever. But since it's a single player.
This isn't, I guess it's not like a mainline game.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it's more of a spin-off, perhaps.
Yeah. But I'm super excited. It comes out in January, so it's only like 4 months away. Right? Is that right? 4? Yeah. It's exciting. So, I mean, if we're going to get anything on Legendaries, it should be, again, on another Direct.
Yeah. All right.
But I think we should get to our chat box question. We're now 2 hours and 30 minutes in. It's the longest episode by far. Yeah. But, so, if you guys want to be featured in the next episode of Gamemode, go ahead and comment down below. We really need to fit these in somewhere sooner. But we're looking at putting like ad segments in between our breaks. And you guys probably already seen it. If you guys watched all the way this far, just go ahead and tell us what you think. Also, comment a question for next week's episode. That'll hopefully be on time. All right. But the question that we have this week is from Lucky from Discord. He says, what thoughts do you have on the new Pokemon trailer? You've already said those. And what do you think they're heading in a good direction with the series?
Well, I think if their direction is this more kind of open world type of Pokemon rather than, hyper linear, go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. But if it's just like more, even like Sword and Shield, I'd say would be a step in the right direction with like the wilderness area.
Yeah, the wild areas.
And I think just this whole idea of free roaming is a better step for the franchise.
I definitely,
because it's also something new. I mean, you can only do so many linear paths before it's like just
it's too repetitive,
like 2K or all the sports games or even Call of Duty. It's just the same stuff with the different new weapons, new Pokemon. Yeah.
I think they're heading in a good direction. I think I agree with you. The open world style is definitely a really good direction, but I still think they have the Japanese business mindset. They're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to do well, so let's release Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, like an old core game, and let's attempt a new one and see if that sells well. Of course it's going to sell well, but they just need hard numbers to prove that. And then after that, hopefully they do an open...
Well, I wouldn't even say it's like box office numbers. It's more like how do the fans react to it?
Yeah.
Because you think about Gen 5, I think it sold pretty well, but it was like non-stop, like, oh, this game is not good, this game is not good.
Oh yeah, until later, yeah.
But I think that might have influenced, at least partially, their direction with where they went with Gen 6 in terms of like story and linearity and stuff like that. Because Gen 5 took a lot of risk, and at the time a lot of people hated them. So I think that Nintendo's like, oh yeah, I guess we'll just stick to the same old formula then.
Yeah, and I feel like that's our own fault. And a lot of people are like, oh, the Pokemon company isn't changing, but I'm like, you kind of caused this.
Didn't you get mad at them?
Yeah. So with same thing with Black and White, they got kind of so scared that people hated the game so much that they're just okay. We're just gonna stick to the script. And then same thing with they wanted 3D Pokemon, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll give you 3D Pokemon, and they liked it, they enjoyed it, but they spent so long on it that like
other areas were sacrificed.
But fifth 3D game in, or is it what, fifth, or is it fourth or third?
XY, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, ORAS. Okay, Let's Go, Sword and Shield, 7th, I think. 6 or 7.
6 or out of all these games, they should have better animations and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to be, trying to defend them at all, but they really should pick up the pace. But I also think half of this is our fault for the fans not knowing what they want and then backtracking, and then after they figured out, or after they
this really wasn't that bad after all. We want more of this.
And after they address the situation, like, okay, fine, we won't do that again. Everyone's like, no, we want that again. But then they're like, wait, but you said you didn't want that again. So, yeah. But we've already seen this we already seen Pokemon heading in a new direction, and I think it's heading in a really good direction. We've seen overworld Pokemon for now the next 5 games, I think. It started Let's Go, Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl now. Arceus, and then I think that's it. But so 4 games, and we've been seeing overworld Pokemon. So I think this is a really good step in the right direction. Overall, I think Pokemon is heading in a really good area. I would concur. Just at a slower pace.
They're taking it safe, unfortunately.
They're taking it
because of fan outcry.
But the minute we get a really good game, a game that shatters all, Pokemon records, is when we actually get a significant change in the Pokemon series. But yeah, thank you for the question, Lucky. Again, if you guys want to, go ahead and either join the Discord and comment in the Gamemode channel, or just comment down below, and we might feature in the next episode.
Yes, we really need some comments.
Yeah.
Some questions.
Anyways, it is. I think this is going to be the longest podcast episode. Which, so I'm going to go on a little rant really quick. I've been working recently, and it's been super hard to upload these videos. We'll probably talk about this next week, or maybe not next week, next week. But I'm participating in a business competition to try and get the channel some additional funding. And if I win that, I probably will cut my hours a lot like more than in half. Because it's a lot of money, and it's enough to pay for any bills I have for the next, year or two. And yeah, maybe, hopefully have content. It's just my hope and dream. Because I notice I'm falling back into the same routine I am when I first started working again. So yeah, I'm trying to fix it, I swear. Promise. Anyways, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. We do these podcasts every Wednesday, as well as Nintendo News Weekly and live broadcasts. And yeah. So
yeah, it's a long episode. I don't know if you go to the first part of the episode and like the end of the episode, the natural lighting in the back is clearly different.
Oh my! How long we've been, it is dark. What time is it? How long we've been at this? Oh my god! Yeah. we definitely start pre-recording these because we have so many ideas. We have like the anime episode, the vacation episode we wanted to talk about. So much. I listed 2, but we have more. We're going to surprise you. Anyways, I'm Freddy, also known as Crafty Type 1.
I'm Jacob, also known as TatorTot.
You gotta get a YouTube channel. You also gotta get one. That's all I'm going to say. This has been Gamemode C, and we will see you guys next Wednesday.